as a company, is our goal is to give you a business opportunity that can make a difference not only in your lives and allow you to become a better version of yourself along the way as we make people better. You know, that's a much bigger version of just a business, but also it allows you the opportunity, which I think is one of the greatest opportunities, to make a difference in other people's lives. And pretty soon I'm going to bring on somebody who's just a great friend of ours, a great just relationship of ours that's made a big difference in our company, but it's going to continue to make a big difference. And that's Max Stock, the CEO of Signum Biosciences. And just 2 weeks from now, Max Stock, myself, Amber, and Krista Klinger, who most of you don't know, she's our Chief Operations Officer, will actually be in Seoul, Korea with Cosmax. Chairman Lee is the founder of Cosmax. And we'll be there talking about your future, okay? About how can we just develop more products for you similar to what we've already done, okay? And it's kind of neat because you're going to have the founder of Cosmax and everything they represent there at the table. And he represents over 220 scientists and manufacturing capacity and resourcing. It's pretty strong. Then you have Signum Biosciences with Max and Jeff and their relationships with Princeton and their, what they've done for us. And then you have myself, and we're sitting there with decision makers to make decisions about things that could affect your future, just as we always do. So I'm going to get to that in a second, okay? And but I want to, before I get into the product side, I just want to say there's so much more to an opportunity than any one thing. It's like the stew. You got to put a lot of different things in there to create the stew. And, and we're going to talk about products here in a second, but one thing that we do, and I think we've done very, very well, is management. The management of our company is something that has evolved. It will never stop evolving. Bo is a beautiful example of that. And I could go through our entire management team and say the same thing. And I can speak very highly of them. But they just continue to evolve. We continue to get better there, and the synergy of our management team and what they can do together just gets better. Okay, and that's my job. Is to constantly work on that. But manage is something that has gotten bigger, it's gotten better, and it's continuing the same thing. You have your business model, and that's one thing we're always trying to do is give you a business model that you can grow with. And I think you see the time and energy we put into the compensation model and the things we do. We're not resting on our laurels. We're not saying this worked, 5 years ago or 10 years ago. We're looking for what works now, but more important, we're looking for what works in the future. Systems. We're always trying to develop systems. We just came out with social selling. That's a response to where's the world going. Okay, so how can we give you something that works in the direct sales model that leverages what's going on in the social media business, so you can expand your business? Those are systems, things like that. The edge. Those types of things are systems. And the field, which is you, and I have to say, and I say this all the time, it doesn't matter where I go, what city, what country, we do attract a very high caliber people. That's one thing that attracted the Max and Signum Biosciences to us, because they came to some of our events, and they sat through the events, and they were impressed with who you are. They were impressed with what you stood for, the quality of the people, that we didn't just seem like the typical direct sales company that so many people have heard about. We seem different because we are different, okay? And that leads to something that really makes this company powerful, and it's our culture. Now, culture is something you create products, you create comp plans, those are things you create. Culture is something you birth. It's organic, okay? And it's not something you can contrive. It's not something that you can fabricate. It's something that has to come from deep within you. And then it has to evolve one person to another person. And over time, you build this organic culture. And we've done that, okay? And it wasn't by mistake. It started with 3 simple words. Those 3 simple words took on a life of their own and created a culture of their own called Make People Better. But one of the foundational things, and that's why I wanted to have Max come on, because he doesn't have a chance to talk to you that much, but is products, okay? And, of course, we want to bring products of value. This is something I think is very important. Value is not just what it does, but value is pricing. And I hope Max can speak to, one of the things they've done is they developed a lot of molecules for other companies. They developed molecules for a company called Rivage, which with the molecule, it's not as good as 1273, which is yours now. And Rivage sold that product for, hundreds of dollars, where we sell a product for, less than $100. That's called value. It's not just what the product does, is the product works even better than what they have, but also we sell it at a better price point. That's something that I know that Signum Biosciences was attracted to, because we had a way to circumvent the typical distribution model that sometimes is so cumbersome, very complicated, very expensive, and also doesn't bring the value that we're able to do. But, so we're constantly looking at that. But, things that we're trying to do, and I can just tell you what I'm about ready to say in the next 3 minutes. 98% of products in the drug sales industry can't say. What we're always look for is our products to be first, unique, and have differentiation. We want to be something that hasn't been done before, okay? We want to be unique to what's out there and have differentiation from what's out there. So I would say some companies can do that, but we've done a very good job of that. The next thing we want to do is we want to have exclusive rights to that. So important. We're looking for exclusive rights because we want to protect it, not only in our distribution model, but to protect it from being that we want to have success. Our success becomes our enemy, and all of a sudden the same concept is showing up in different forms of distribution. Believe me, the direct sales industry is full of companies that had success. Their success ended when all of a sudden their success turned into competition, and because they had not protected channels of distribution, all of a sudden they had competitors. That has not happened to us, and that's one thing I'm very, very strong about. And it's kind of my past, though. I come from that world, and I know how to play in that world. But then what we're really looking for, and this is a big one, that it's very difficult for somebody else to replicate or duplicate our products. Because you got to understand, if you're successful and you can be replicated or duplicated, you will be. So think about it. You can do the first 4 things. You can be unique, be first to market, have differentiation. You have the global exclusive rights to it. But if it can be replicated or duplicated, the first 4 don't matter that much. If you can box and stop people from replicate or duplicate you, the first 4 matter. But when they all 5 come together, that's called magical. And that's what we call superhero products. And that's one of the beautiful things I loved when I ran into Sigma Biosciences, because we've been dealing with different types of products before. And when I saw what they do with molecules and structure patterns and their huge ability that they had to go and do unlimited things, I knew there's a partnership that was good for you, was good for us, and it allowed us to do some crazy things. And now look what we've done: the 1273 molecule, the 1191 molecule, the 1459 molecule. I can't even believe the pictures I'm seeing on Acme. It's incredible the lives we're changing on that. What we've done with EHT, and I can just sit here and start crying on the stories I get on EHT all the time, okay? But again, that comes from what they've been able to do, and that's leveraged from, decades of experience, okay, and what they've been able to do, and we get to leverage that. And so, it's my honor to be able to ask Max to come on this call and be able to speak to you. I just want to speak to you a little bit more about that, because not only is it a foundational thing of us, but it's a future foundational thing for us. We have an incredible culture, we have a credible field, we have great systems, we have proven business model, proven management team, and our products, we have the formula for success, and we have an incredible partner with people like Cosmax. We have about 15 dozen people that we use for ingredients and formulating stuff, but really a key cog in this whole process is our relationship with Sigma Biosciences. And quite honestly, that, my relationship is mainly with Max Stock in Sigma. I mean, don't get me wrong, I get along with Jeff and Eddie and all the people. I love them. But this is the person who we got together and we realized that we could form a partnership and do some amazing things. And so, Max, it's my honor. I just want to introduce you to the leaders in the field that you speak to all the time. But, now we have conferences once a year. And so it's kind of nice to bring you back every once in a while and let you talk to them about what you're doing and where we're going. Okay, so Max, I'm going to give it to you right now. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate the introduction. I'll just jump right into just adding more to what Jo said. I'll jump into the background of Signum. Maybe some of you haven't heard my talks. So my father and I actually worked, and my dad's been a professor for almost 40 years now at Princeton. And I, after finishing school, came and started to work in his lab, and we worked together on the science that all your products are built on. And after about 4 or 5 years, we started to have enough data to pull the company together. So in 2003, we incorporated the company and started to develop the technologies that are behind all these products. So one of the difference in Signum is that we're not just a cosmetic ingredient development company. We're really a drug development company that also develops cosmetic ingredients. So the core foundations of our company were built on drug development platforms. So the targets that we actually are going after are very validated targets. They're not unknown in terms of the scientific community. They're inflammatory targets that you can go after. So that is where we can actually develop drugs off of some of these targets, but also cosmetic ingredients. So we take the tools of drug discovery and we apply those to cosmetic ingredient development. So that's a really unique thing. You don't really see biotech companies like Signum developing the kind of cutting edge cosmetic ingredients that are in Neora's products. So then the next piece is, why did we partner with Neora? First and foremost, it was after I met with Jo. I really enjoyed Jo's company. Like Bo Short said, when Jo is not in front of the stage, he's the same guy. He's a very straightforward person, very easy to get along with, which is critical when you're developing a partnership like the one we have. Also, Jo and Neora are very much committed to developing products that are based on real science. And so that really resonated with us as a company. What we develop is all based on real science, real targets, real mechanisms. So the fact that Jo is committed to developing real products based on real science really was a big one for us at Signum. Another piece that Jo mentioned was that Neora's products are very affordable. We are the first generation compound that we developed as a cosmetic ingredient was AFC, which is Arazine, and that is included in the Provage line of products at Elizabeth Arden, and they sold those products for over about $250. So the fact that Neora really has a nice price point, so it's very affordable to everybody, was a big thing for us. Also, Neora is very fast, right? So when we develop something on the bench, we had worked with, let's say, with Elizabeth Arden. It takes them years to take that new technology, put it in a product, and actually get it on the shelf. Because Neora is working with partners like Cosmax, they really have the ability to quickly take technology, put it in a product, get it to you guys in a very quick manner. So what that does is it allows new products to come on market. So one of the things that Signum is, we're not just a one-trick pony. We have a lot of different technologies, as you see, through 1273, 1191, and 1459. We have a whole pipeline of compounds that we're developing for 2 years out, for 4 years out, for 6 years out. In the cosmetic space, the cosmetic consumer is more and more expecting new products, if not every 2 years, then even shorter. So you have these really short product life cycles in the cosmetic industry, and you guys are competing with the likes of the L'Oreals and the Lauders and all these other big cosmetic companies. So that's really critical that there's a real quick, you get new products on a regular basis. So we're not a one-trick pony. We can feed technology into Neora. We can work with Neora's partner, Cosmax, develop cutting-edge formulations. And those formulations come from Korea. Korea is one of the most cutting-edge countries developing formulations. There's a lot of technology now that's coming from Korea back to the United States. That's a really new thing over the last 5 years. So Neora has really shown how savvy they are in partnering with Signum and getting our technology, but also partnering with Cosmax and having that kind of robust technological capability to bring new products to market. So lastly, but not least, is the real family of value system that is at Neora. So as Jo mentioned before, initially I was very skeptical. I had heard all the things about network marketing companies that I'm sure all you guys did. I was very skeptical. I met Jeff Olson, and that helped a lot. But another thing that really did it was when I visited 3 Get Real conferences before I partnered with Neora. And I met all of the people there, and I was very impressed by first of all the hard work. There's a lot of hardworking people and very entrepreneurial, just like myself and us at Signum. So I really saw there was a really good group of people at Neora, and Signum couldn't ask for anything better in terms of a group of people to represent our technology and really spread our technology out, not just in the United States, but globally. So that real core family business, family set of values that is not only within the brand partners, but it's also within the management of the company. So Jo and Amber and Bo and all the secretaries, it's like a big family. So that's exactly how we run Signum. It's a really flat organization. We all work together more as a team, and we find that to be much more efficient when you're trying to get things done, like getting a product out and having a global product that you're launching in multiple countries around the globe. So that was also very critical. The next piece that I think is really critical for you guys is something that Jo hit on a lot, which is the intellectual property or patents that we have at Signum. So most of our resources goes into those patents, goes into actually prosecuting those patents at patent offices around the world. So we not only have to file those patents here in the United States, but we have to file them throughout Asia, throughout Europe, throughout South America. So that's an enormous amount of work, and it allows for the absolute protection of the technology. So as Jo mentioned, no other company can come in with another 1459 type analog molecule and compete with that product. What we do is we create these patents, and they're not just process patents or formulation patents. They're composition of matter patents, which are the most, they're the toughest patents. So those are the patents that you want. So we have those composition patents, and then outside of those, we have methods patents for the actual formulations that you guys are using. And we have patents on very large groups. So as I mentioned, it's not just on 1459 or 1273 or 1191. You have a large group, a large library of molecules that are getting better and better as our scientists develop these compounds and make them better and better. So there's a whole pipeline of new technology coming into you guys. So we're really dedicated to Neora. They're our main partner. I am very involved in terms of traveling around the globe to support your business, and you guys are supporting our business. So it's a really mutually beneficial relationship, and one that we really are committed to at Signum. So that's a really, we have our Neora business with our cosmetic ingredients in those pipelines, and then we're developing drugs for topical disease. We also develop drugs for rosacea, atopic dermatitis, and psoriasis. So we have those two areas. So you guys are really lucky to have that relationship with a biotech company like Signum, the kind of technology that we can feed into you guys, and just continue to move forward and move up and keep developing our technologies and keep feeding it into you guys. Also, we have our website, signumbiosciences.com, and a lot of the information that I've just talked about is on the website, so you can kind of touch and feel there in terms of some of the more technical information, some of the papers that are behind. We publish on all our technology. We don't just publish 1 or 2 papers. We publish many, many papers in very high-profile journals, and we present our technology at conferences around the world. So there's a real resource for you. We're also active on Facebook, and we post a lot on Facebook in terms of technology and a lot of this kind of stuff on Instagram. So we try to provide these resources for you guys, and we'll continue to do so. We're really committed to Neora, and we've really kind of become one family now after these years together. So I appreciate you guys for listening, and thank you so much.